looks delicious. I'm guessing as a woman, I won't be allowed to eat that. That's too bad.
They say don't knock it till you try it, but sometimes it's not so easy to live by that motto. So on that note, here are the top 10 weirdest food combinations that are surprisingly tasty.
Whoa, that's good squishy.
Mac and cheese and ice cream.
Ate everyone's favorite, mac and cheese
Ice cream.
Is there anything more iconic than a warm bowl of mac and cheese to fill you up after a long day? The cheesy, gooey meal is always there to make you feel better. You know what else has historically always been there during difficult times? Ice cream. So the Kraft Heinz Company decided it was time to pair two of the most comforting foods ever and make a new classic: macaroni and cheese ice cream. Described as the ice cream you never knew you needed, the mac and cheese ice cream is made with high-quality ingredients and has no artificial flavors, preservatives, or dyes.
It's completely natural.
The company partnered up with Brooklyn-based Van Leeuwen Ice Cream to make the limited edition unusual flavor. And while it may sound completely wacky at first, the results are apparently divine. So much so that as soon as the company began selling the new odd flavor in its New York, California, New Jersey, and Texas shops on July 14th, also National Macaroni and Cheese Day, by the way, it immediately sold out. Call it curiosity or a real delectable dessert, but people could not seem to get their hands on it fast enough. But no worries, more supply is on the way, and the mac and cheese ice cream will soon be available again.
It's organic, locally grown, and available now.
Peanut butter and mayo.
Would you try peanut butter and mayo?
The beauty of a sandwich is that you can pretty much stuff anything you want in between two pieces of bread and voila, you're done. However, sometimes things get a little out of hand. Just look at this next combination: peanut butter and mayo. The PB&M is simply made with peanut butter and mayonnaise slathered on white bread, and even though it sounds made up, it's actually a Southern delicacy. This very unique sandwich got its start during the Great Depression and stuck around to become a tradition and a go-to snack for some in the South. In the 1960s, Hellmann's even partnered up with Skippy Peanut Butter and released a series of ads suggesting ways to dress up your plain sandwich with toppings, including sliced apples, bacon, pickles, and canned pineapple.
What kind of sandwich is that?
That's the meatball explosion.
Knowing that it emerged during a period where resources were scarce helps us understand how this sandwich came to be, but it still sounds like one freaky combo. The reason why it's still around today is not only because of childhood nostalgia for many, but also because the PB&M was able to successfully meld two very distinct flavors into one cheap and filling meal and deliver a surprisingly tasty outcome.
Very tasty. I'll tell him.
Ice cream and fries.
The hotter the fry, the stiffer the fry, the colder the frosty, the better the whole experience is going to be.
This is probably one of the most famous and delightful combinations on this list, but that doesn't make it any less weird or controversial for many people. If you're on team dip your french fries in your milkshake, chances are you've received your fair share of disapproving looks and judgment from people around you. However, you shouldn't let it get to you. Using your Frosty and McFlurry as a dipping sauce has truly taken this whole sweet and salty thing to a whole new level. Not only because of the mix of flavors, the saltiness of the fries perfectly complemented by the sweetness of the ice cream, but also because of the mix of temperature. There's just something so satisfying about dipping a hot potato in ice-cold ice cream.
Hey, this is pretty damn good.
Still not 100% convinced of its legitimacy and need more convincing? If a sea of people testifying online isn't enough for you, all you need to do is ask Cool House. They actually sell a pint of milkshake and fries ice cream, and it includes real chunks of French fries as well as malt balls blended into vanilla ice cream. So over are the days filled with judgment for that French fry dipping habit.
Whoops, old habit.
Peanut butter burger.
I've had peanut butter on a burger before. I hated it. It's terrible.
Okay.
But, you made it taste good.
Forget about the whole sweet, salty shenanigans. This is more of a salt and more salt situation, and it's just as awesome. There's more than one way to enjoy a burger with peanut butter. You can either mix the spread directly into the ground beef, which will build a creamy texture, and as the peanut butter gets melty, will make the patty even juicier on the inside and crispy on the outside. Or you can simply slather a layer of it as a condiment.
It's your choice, eh?
Peanut butter can complement a burger and completely change the flavor profile. The nuttiness and creaminess will add more complexity to your sandwich, as well as a crunchy or smooth texture, depending on what kind of spread you use. This savory combo is becoming more and more popular, especially in burger joints in New York City, where the fluffy addition keeps popping up on menus. Some hardcore burger fans might even recall the time Shake Shack had a peanut butter bacon cheeseburger on their secret menu, with an order of peanut sauce drizzled all over your burger.
Now exit my burger hole, boy.
Bacon and banana.
Oh, what'd you bring me this time? They're bacon banana cookies.
You've heard of bacon and chocolate and bacon and ice cream, but what about bacon and bananas? Or even weirder, bacon, banana, and peanut butter. Although it might sound like a very bad late-night munchies combination, it's a pretty famous recipe, especially among frequent visitors to Graceland. Indeed, we actually owe this culinary treasure to the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Even though the true origins of this somewhat peculiar concoction are unclear and unconfirmed, the mix of bacon, banana, and peanut butter in a sandwich has long been attributed to Elvis, even being referred to as a favorite of his. At first, it might not exactly look like something you'd enjoy eating. There are 3 completely different ingredients usually used in 3 different kinds of sandwiches, but in reality, it's a pretty good trio.
When something happens, it is always you 3.
It's all about the balance of flavors that unexpectedly seem to go so well together. The sweet, fruity banana with the creamy, carb-heavy peanut butter and the salty, crispy bacon just all go hand in hand. But the peanut butter bacon banana trifecta isn't reserved only for sandwiches. It has also been utilized in many more Elvis-branded stuff, from pancakes to ice cream. In other words, no matter how you enjoy this trio, you'll be in for one delicious treat.
Mom, this is delicious.
Too delicious.
Ice cream and pickles.
Vanilla ice cream?
If you thought dipping your french fries in ice cream was out there, boy, do we have some news for you. While eating ice cream and pickles together has long been associated with pregnancy cravings, it can very much be enjoyed by anyone. But where did this weird obsession for this combination come from? Apparently, this pregnancy cliché came from an episode of I Love Lucy, where a pregnant Lucy dips a pickle into a milkshake and people went wild. Since then, the pickle and ice cream duo has been popping up in countless TV shows, movies, and romance novels to indicate the onset of pregnancy, and people began following Lucy's culinary lead.
Nasty, nasty, Roberta.
There's even a cookbook humorously called Pickles and Ice Cream, a collection of some of the craziest things pregnant people crave. The reason our bodies, pregnant or not, seem to crave ice cream and pickles is simply because the pairing of sweet and salty food is so effortless and delicious, it's hard to resist experimenting. And because sometimes dipping isn't quite enough, there's even actual pickle ice cream. Indeed, the Lucky Pickle Dumpling on Manhattan's Upper West Side came up with a pickle soft serve, and it's everything you could ever crave. Just give either of these combos a chance and see if Lucy was onto something.
You guys are up to something.
Apple pie and cheddar cheese.
Like warm apple pie. Yeah? Yeah.
Most of you probably enjoy your slice of apple pie with a big scoop of ice cream. It just seems to make sense. But for others, their idea of an iconic duo involves another dairy product altogether, cheese. Now, if you're team ice cream, the idea of putting cheese on your precious hot pie might seem unacceptable, but just hear us out. Fresh apple slices and cheese are a very common snack combination, so really, how weird could this be? It was obviously only a matter of time before the apple pie/cheese idea happened, and according to many avid pie lovers, it's something everyone should have at least once.
You should try it someday.
This concoction is often traced back to 17th century England and is believed to have been brought to the New World by European settlers. Cheddar-topped apple pie is usually more popular in dairy-producing regions like the Midwest and New England, but it's slowly spreading beyond those regions. If you want to give this pie a la cheese a try, just throw a yellow slice on top. Or better yet, bake it directly in your pie crust for an even more delicious outcome.
I want some pie, Kay. I want some pie. Let's go get some dumbass pie. Sounds good.
Pickles and peanut butter.
Used to give me the pickles open sandwich, and all I had to do was let him copy some keys.
That's right, as weird as it might sound, peanut butter and pickle sandwiches are a thing, at least according to a recommendation made by none other than the New York Times. The recipe was first shared by the newspaper in 2012, and it left a lot of people perplexed. After all, peanut butter is delicious, and so are pickles, but can you really put the two together and still end up with something tasty? As it turns out,
Yes, you can.
Pickles, with their tart flavor, have always been good at improving the flavor of foods, and peanut butter is sturdy enough to withstand the pickle juice and avoid a soggy mess. Or, the vinegary snap of the pickles tempers the unctuousness of the peanut butter, and it's an unusual pantry sandwich for when luncheon meats leave you cold. They also explained that the PB&P is far from a new, trendy creation meant to attract social media attention. Au contraire, it has actually been a low-profile favorite in the U.S. for decades, as it was a popular fixing during the Great Depression, although relish would often be used instead of pickles.
Made him look, quote, like he takes the sandwich with a pickle.
Watermelon and salt.
What's next? A watermelon?
There's nothing better than a nice, refreshing slice of watermelon on a hot day. And if your go-to snack is this pink, watery fruit, here's a way to make it taste even better. Add salt. Yes, we know what you're probably thinking. Why not put sugar instead? Well, as it turns out, adding salt to watermelon can do a lot more than mere sugar, and once you try it, you'll probably never stop. Essentially, salt on watermelon will make the watery, sweet flavor of the melon pop even more.
Oh, God, it's all watery.
Since salt naturally cuts through bitter notes in food, adding it to the melon will help balance out and improve the sweet flavors. That's because salt will contrast with the natural sugars in the watermelon and make them even more robust, which will elevate the entire fruit. Not only that, but it will also improve the melon's texture. Sprinkling a little bit of salt will bring all of the water to the surface, making it even more watery, ensuring a juicy and sweet bite every time. You can use pretty much any type of salt you have on hand. Rock salt, pink salt, or regular table salt, all will have the same contrasting effect. You can also apply this salty hack to other fruits such as grapefruit, pineapple, cantaloupe, or even apples.
You've got to eat your fruits and juice your vegetables.
Chocolate and avocados.
They eat avocados with everything.
The avocado craze that started back in the 2010s has yet to die down and seems to have reached new levels of peculiarity. You already know about avocado toast, salads, and avocado smoothies, but did you also know that you could eat that green fruit with chocolate? And we're not talking about putting a little chunk of chocolate on top of your toast or adding it to your next chocolate fondue, even though that does sound rather appealing. No, we're talking full-on chocolate recipes, blending the two ingredients together. While it may seem a little wacky and a widely uncommon combination, once you've tasted one of these desserts, you'll inevitably change your mind.
I'm gonna eat it!
The most common way to enjoy the avocado's creamy and buttery texture with the sweet and bitter taste of chocolate is in a pudding or mousse. But you can also easily prepare decadent chocolate cakes, cupcakes, cookies, or any other type of pastry. The ultimate treat to try, however, is a creamy chocolate avocado milkshake. And all you need is to blend milk, cocoa powder, brown sugar, ice, and avocado until you have a thick and smooth texture, and ta-da! Not only will the avocado make your desserts fluffier, more velvety, and richer, but it will also give them an edge your regular chocolate goodies don't have.
These two taste better at the ballpark. Uh-oh.
Get a taste of more great videos? Just tap or click. And hey, leave us a comment, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell.